Port Royal is a major city and a bustling harbor in Jamaica, an important part of trade in the Caribbean. In 1657, Jamaica became the base of operations for English buccaneers, pirates, and privateers. In fact, the term barbecue originated from French-speaking pirates who called their Caribbean pork feast de barbe et queue, which means from beard to tail. In the middle of all the swashbuckling and avasti mateys, some unique cuisine developed. Today, we set sail for some Jamaican jerk pork loin with roasted yams and homemade dumplings. I'm Garret Schack, and today, that's what we're cooking on the coast. Arr! Hey man, today we prepare Jamaican jerk pork loin with roasted yams, homemade dumplings. Doesn't that sound delicious? You bet it does. Let's get started. First thing we want to do, have our oven cranked up to 350 degrees, and we're going to roast some yams. What I like to do is just cut off the ends, cut off each end. They tend to be a little woody, so I discard those. And then make sure you wash them nicely, which we've done already, and then I leave the skin on. Quite often the skin's removed, and I think that's a real shame. I mean, there's lots of nutrients in the skin of vegetables and so on. So, pretty fancy. Hey, 2 at once. You like that? Got a sheet pan set up over here, a little bit of parchment paper, and I'm just going to give it a quick spray with the pan spray. What I want to do is make sure I get a nice even coating so when I put them on, they don't stick or overcook on that one side. And we'll lay them out neatly here. Kind of work quickly, pretty easy. But we do want to make sure that they're evenly placed so they get a nice roast on all sides. Some salt. We've got a little bit of olive oil. Try and drizzle a little bit on each one if you can. If not, you can just shake it around. It's not too big a deal. Pepper, of course. And then we fire this right into an oven at, again, 350 degrees. They probably take about 15, 20 minutes. Perfect. Now, what would a Jamaican jerk pork loin be without the pork loin? So let's have a look at what we have here. Beautiful pork loin. Look at that color. It's got a really sort of pink color, which is fairly common for pork. It has this lighter type flavor, and it's a leaner meat than say beef, but it's super flavorful. I'm just gonna throw a cutting board on top of there so I can clean it up a little bit. I want to show you guys something here. You can see here there's that white. This is called silver skin. It's an extremely tough collagen that doesn't break down during cooking, so we do have to remove that. So I'm lightly cleaning it out. You see I've got my knife just kind of tucked under there, and then I'm pulling just to the edge. So I'm not taking away too much meat, but I am cleaning off that silver skin. So I'm going to be using this skillet over here. So what I want to do is kind of have a size that's going to fit in it nicely. So I'm going to go ahead, just cut it down the middle, and that'll give us 2 loins for our meal tonight. Now, I'm just going to place this back over on my plate while I make my rub. Jamaican cooking uses tons of spices, lots of stuff that's homegrown right down there in the Caribbean. Just start adding it. We've got some clove, some allspice. We've got some mustard, dried mustard here. A chili pepper. Now, the most common chili pepper that you would probably find down in Jamaica, or in the Caribbean, in fact, is a Scotch bonnet. Today, this one here is called a serrano pepper, because it's one that kind of grows a little bit more frequently up here. We're just going to chop it up nicely and add it to our rub. Here we go. We'll see more of this later in the show too. In our actual jerk sauce, this serrano pepper will come back again into our rub. Okay, nutmeg. I want to talk to you a little bit about nutmeg. Most people probably don't see the nutmeg like this in the actual nut form, but if you can find it, this is the way to do it. And all it takes is a little grater just like this. I mean, these are available to most stores these days, and you just want to grate it right in there. What a difference the flavor makes. So imagine having this in your pumpkin pie or something like that. Here we are. Again, it doesn't take a lot. See, I've only used a little bit of that nutmeg nut. Got some fresh thyme here. Pluck it away. We're using a combination of dried and fresh ingredients in our rub. Like a little bit more in there. I love the sweetness of thyme. And then last but not least, a little bit of mustard. This will just moisten it up and help the whole thing stick to our pork loin a little bit. Now, mix this nicely in our hand, just with our hands. So you notice maybe that I didn't wash my hands after handling that pork. Well, there's a reason for that. I'm about to get messy again as I rub this pork loin with the jerk rub. And then we're gonna rub that right on. Now we really wanna massage it in there. So this is the kind of thing you could do ahead of time. You'd wanna pack on all of these flavors, and then we'd sort of set it in the fridge and let it all those flavors come together. Meantime, let's turn on our pan here. We're gonna want like a medium heat here. We don't want to scorch it. We don't want to burn the flavors, but we do want to sort of bring out the oils and all that stuff. Start with a little bit of vegetable oil. Let's see if we can get this guy going. Now, I am going to put a little salt on the pork at this point. There we go. Pepper. Now, the beauty of this dish is we're actually going to do everything right here in this one gorgeous Cuisinox pan. We're gonna sear it, and then we're gonna build this amazing jerk sauce all around it. So it's gonna be double the flavor. Okay, very important here when you're putting something into your pan that you lay away from you. If there's any excess oil in there that's gonna splash, you want it to splash away from you, not into your hands. Just lay that down. Lovely. Perfect, that's gonna sear away nicely. We're just gonna give it a few turns as we go. We'll be back later in the show to pull together Jamaican jerk pork loin with roasted yams and homemade dumplings. But first, right after the break, we're getting out of the studio. You'll wanna stick around for that. Hello, Piggy. We're out here on location at Pig BBQ Joint, arguably one of the best barbecue places on the Lower Mainland, West Coast, all over BC. I'm here with my good friend, Jeff Hetherington. Jeff, how are you, buddy?
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Pig and how you got started. I mean, you've built an empire here.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, it was more of just cooking, cooking with you,
Yeah.
fine dining for so long, and then just realized that if I was to go, I was at a sort of a crossroads, and if I was to go one way back into the fine dining in 16-hour days, 7 days a week, you can't really turn it off. And I saw this as an opportunity because there was a big hole in the market.
Yeah.
To go the Southern barbecue route, take those same things that I learned through fine dining and apply them to something simple.
Now, I know your barbecue is different. Like, it's pretty authentic, right? Like, you spent some time...
Yeah, we went, did a few trips through the South, tasted a lot of barbecue, played a lot of golf, drank a lot of Bud Light. But
that sounds terrible.
It wasn't the worst, but just ultimately came back with ideas, and then through trial, this is what we have now.
Yeah, cool. So you want to take us back and let's have a look at how the magic happens?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Perfect, let's go. We're back here in the kitchen now. We've got Jeff Hetherington. Hank, how are you, buddy? Can I get a high five? Yeah, nice one. And we've got la pièce de résistance, the most important part of pulled pork.
Absolutely, this is where it starts. So this is called pork butt. As you can see, there's a good amount of fat.
Yeah.
Marbling's good throughout the whole piece of meat. Basically, when you're through the smoking process, it's about a 12-hour cooking process. If it was too lean, you have dry meat. So
you need that fat to add the moisture.
Absolutely. So we use boneless pork butts. We use a pretty simple blend. It's basically, if you were just imagine any dried spice that's good with pork, that's the blend.
Oh, it smells delicious.
Salt, sugar, paprika, cumin, cayenne.
So how, like, sort of liberally sprinkle it on?
Very liberally, yeah, very liberally. And then you want to peel this cap back and just get basically everything that you can.
Oh yeah, okay.
Season it up all the way in there. You don't want to push the meat, the seasoning too much in there. You want to just let it through the cooking process kind of sink in. So
that's a good piece of information. So it just goes in on these hotel pans here?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Chuck it in. Set it and forget it.
You can smell the smoke in there. That smells incredible. So here we have the final components. Got barbecue sauce, coleslaw.
Yeah.
And now let's quickly touch base on the buns. I know this has been something you've worked on since day one, right?
Yeah. So it took a long time.
These smell good.
I've been through many bakers. I mean, you think it's just like, okay, well, I just get a bun and it's going to be good. Basically, what I want is when you're eating the sandwich is a glorified napkin for the for the meat.
What's the first step? Walk me through it here.
On base bun, we put the pulled pork.
Alrighty, and is this like one portion that we have right
here?
here?
Yeah, roughly 5 ounces.
Oh wow, that's a
5 ounces cooked meat, yeah, it's a
nice sized sandwich right there.
And then sauce goes down.
Normally when I see pulled pork, it comes like all slathered in sauce and all that kind of stuff. I notice you keep it on the side and...
We, you know, just like anything else, you spend the time to smoke it properly, to season it properly. I don't see the point of masking it with like a Guinness barbecue sauce. Or, I mean, not to say that those aren't good, but we like it pretty simple. So, I mean, traditional barbecue sauce is flavored ketchup, so that's really what it is.
That's what it is, eh?
So you cider vinegar.
Where did this one come from? Was that...
That's that. I based it off, there's a place in Kansas City called Gates Barbecue, and sort of, you know, played with that. And then we have, now we're gonna put our coleslaw in there.
And then coleslaw on top.
Yeah. Crunch, right?
And then just squish it all together?
Squish it all together.
Oh, look at that sandwich. That looks incredible.
Get it in you. Get it in you.
Yeah, you mind if I have a bite? Is that all right?
Bananas.
Look at this. Oh, pulled pork, the crunch from the coleslaw?
Yeah. That's a huncher. Now you got to do some weird Guy Fieri thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Run my fingers through my hair or something.
Yes. Oh boy.
Jeff, you knock it out of the park with your pulled pork, buddy.
It's tasty,
so
right?
good.
So that's all it should be. It's just simple.
I love it. Thanks so much, buddy. Thanks
very much. Thanks for having us.
Great. Thanks, Hank. Give me another $5.
Yeah.
Awesome, buddy. Nice one.
Yeah.
All right, let's head back to the kitchen. I'm gonna finish my pulled pork sandwich.
Thank you very much.
Back to the kitchen, and we're working on Jamaican jerk pork loin with roasted yams and homemade dumplings. Look at the caramelization we've got on these tenderloins here. It's exactly what we want. We're making our sauce, our jerk sauce, right there in the pan. So we need some vegetables. So we'll chop up some celery here. Just do a quick dice on these. Doesn't have to be super fancy. All right. And we'll get this into our pan. So this is kind of going to act as our veg and our sauce for the dish. In it goes, some onion, a nice little dice. If you haven't diced onions before at home, here's the correct way to do it. Make some lines about the right size that you want. And then go across the other way. Nice sharp knife here always helps. And then one last cut around. And there we've diced half an onion in 25.6 seconds. There we go. Now, with this, we're also picking up all those drippings off the bottom of the pan. Can you see how they've cooked on the bottom there? Well, that's exactly what we want. So these vegetables are gonna start soaking some of that up, loosening it off the bottom of our pan. There we go, continuing to cook. Now let's add some more of those spices that we've already added. A little bit more of that allspice, clove, fresh nutmeg again. There. I want to add some thyme. This time I'm just going to leave it whole like this so we can kind of pluck it out afterwards. Some fresh bay leaves. Now fresh bay leaves, if you can get them, use them. They're fantastic. They grow like wildfire around here, so it's perfect that we have them. Start sauteing that, start releasing all the flavors, melding them all together. Now, what would Jamaican cooking be without rum? So, in here we have a nice dark spiced rum. And you can mix it with pretty much anything. Immediately you can smell the rum burning away. It smells fantastic. And we've used that to pick up some more of those drippings off the bottom of the pan. I don't know if you can see that there, but you can see I've kind of scraped them off, and that's all flavor that's now going to be in our sauce. Okay, I also want to add some raisins and some more fresh chilies. You can add the seeds right in there if you like it really spicy. If not, clean the seeds out. That's usually where you'll find a bunch of that heat. Now we'll let that cook away just for a little bit. Add a little bit more liquid, and then we're going to finish this off in the oven until those pork loins are beautiful and medium. So into our oven. Now the last piece of our dish today is a homemade dumpling. Super simple dumpling dish and very popular as a side dish for Jamaican cuisine. Got some all-purpose flour, some cornmeal, And we're gonna mix these two things here together with a little bit of water and some baking powder. Using about, a teaspoon or so. So this is a touch and feel kind of one. Grandma down in Jamaica wouldn't have a recipe for this. She'd do it all by touch and sight and feel. Some salt. And as you can see, it's still dry, right? It's a bit dry. We want to add some more water. In fact, I got a touch more tucked down here, so we'll add a little bit more water. There we go. Combine them. And then I'm going to add some vegetables. I want to add a little bit more health and a little more vegetable to this dish. So I've got some corn and some peas. In they go. They add some color, a little bit of texture, and lots of flavor. Form a little log here. Do that right on our cutting board. And just cut some pieces off. And these are going to be our dumplings. So you can see they're a bit sticky, that's okay. We want them to be nice and soft anyway. And we'll just drop them right into the boiling water. So these are perfect. You would serve maybe two of these per dish, per person, depending on how many people you have coming over. Now we're almost there. We're almost ready to pull the entire dish together. Clean our hands and we'll go grab those yams out of the oven and see how we're doing. Oh, they look fantastic. Starting to brown ever so slightly. Look at that. Beautifully soft, but because we've left the skin on, it keeps their texture too. They don't just turn to mush. And look at that color. They look great. So let's get those on the plate. Let's do another stack like that would be one nice portion, I think. There. Check on our dumplings. We'll give them a little turnover here. Quick and simple. Jamaican cuisine isn't about sitting in the kitchen all day. It's about getting your food and then getting out and enjoying that beach and that sunshine. All right, we're almost there. I'm gonna have a quick look at the pork. All right, pork loin should be all done. Oh man, that looks fantastic. Smells incredible. It's so aromatic. I love Jamaican cuisine. Nice color on it. Lots of flavor. Our sauce is really coming together, although it's not quite finished yet. So we're just gonna take our pork out and set it off to the side here. So we gotta finish up that sauce. Turn our stove back on. Take out any of the bay leaves that may have over roasted as they were in there. That's all right. They've done their job. Thank you very much. Get a couple of those other ones out of there. You can smell that clove, all that nutmeg. Incredible. Okay, last thing we want to do is kind of thicken up this sauce a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit grainy mustard and some vinegar. I've got apple cider vinegar here. Just a touch. There we are. Give it a whisk around. Quick toss. This tends to make a big mess at home, but feel free to give it a try if you want. There we go. Let that cook for just a sec. Chop up a little bit of fresh parsley. This is gonna add just a touch of freshness to that Jamaican dish, to our jerk. There we go. There we go. Now this dish will almost equal the beauty of Jamaica. The flora and fauna there is incredible. That's a really hot pan. The flora and fauna in Jamaica is incredible. There's over 1,000 species of trees and 500 different ferns. If you thought we had a lot here on Vancouver Island, these guys have got us beat. All right, let's give this a little taste. Oh, I don't want a full chili right on the first bite. Oh, wow. So nice, so aromatic. A little bit of extra salt we need here. I get a touch of that vinegar. It's lovely. Okay, our dumplings are ready. So we're gonna grab those out. Slotted spoon here. See, they've been floating probably on top for about a minute or so. Perfect. Just gonna use my towel here just to blot them off ever so slightly. Place them down here in our plate. We're almost there. Now let's cut into our pork loin. Look at that, perfect medium. Looks incredible. That's pretty good there. Set this down right on top of those dumplings. And then finish with our sauce. Make sure we get couple of those chilies in there too. Raisins, the rum. There you have it. Jamaican jerk pork loin with roasted yams and homemade dumplings. Now, what better way to enjoy our Jamaican cuisine than with the right beverage? With me today is Michelle from Townside Brewing. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm awesome. I'm so happy to be here.
I am excited to have you here. I'm a big fan of beer. So
Awesome. Well, I brought an amazing beer. It's 7800 Saison. Our brewmaster's from Belgium, and so it's an interesting story about this beer. 7,800 kilometers from Powell River, where Townside Brewing is, down to his homeland in the southern farmlands of Belgium, where this style of beer actually originated.
cool. What a great story.
Yeah, if one thing Belgians know, it's good beer.
Yeah, absolutely. That and French fries, right?
Yes, indeed, mussels and fries.
Yeah, that's right.
So why I chose this beer with your pairing, one thing is for newbies, they really will enjoy this beer with any different style of cooking it. It's bright and it's crisp apple flavor, will pair with anything.
It pairs really well with all sorts of different foods. So, because this Jamaican dish does have, all those spices in there. So, you're thinking it's going to hold up?
It is, and the effervescence that definitely comes with all Saison styles will lift that right off your tongue and will cleanse your palate with every single bite.
It smells really crisp, refreshing.
Oh, such great beer. Cheers.
I got way ahead of you there, didn't I? I couldn't wait. What are you going to do? Wow, that's fantastic. Let's try it with some of this. So we got the jerk pork.
Oh, I'm excited to try it. I think with the sweetness of
Bit of that sauce.
sweetness of the yam is going to cut really well with that too.
Yeah. So good. That pork's nice and tender.
That's beautiful. Well done.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. Cuts through some of that spice and the beer shines.
It does, and it is an amazing beer, as I said, for those folks that are just getting into the beer pairing with food. Definitely try a Saison, and of course our Powell River Townside Brewing 7800 Saison is a great choice.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thanks very much for being here. Check out our website where you'll find more information on today's show and maybe a few surprises. I'm Garret Schack. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to savor the flavor.